Hello and welcome to Cabentry. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a tour of Cabentry. So we're going to be doing a demonstration job, and as you can see in this 3D, we have a gray kitchen perimeter and a blue island. So I'm going to be walking through how to add the rooms, how to add the cabinets, the accessories, and we're just going to be explaining the interface of Cabentry. So to get started, let's talk about the order info. The first thing we see is the sold to, or the dealer information. So my information is populated to Modern Amish. When you click New Job, your information will populate to whatever dealer you are assigned to. Now, as you start a new job, you're also going to see your dealer discount. Mine is currently set at 0%, but you'll see your dealer discount here. So next we get to the ship to. So the ship to is the customer's information, or who you're selling the job to. If I want to copy the information over to save time on entering some of this data, I can click this little button. And then we'll just say John Doe is buying cabinets. And we'll change the address to Main Street. And just change the email and contact to John Doe. Next we have account info. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the other fields. I'm just going to put the job name as Cabentry Demo. So next, let's get into adding our room. I'm going to switch back to our drawing. And like I mentioned before, we have this kitchen perimeter that's gray and the island that's blue. So I'm actually going to split this up into two separate room profiles because the styles are different. If everything was the same, I could enclose this all in a room called the kitchen. So for this example, I'm going to create a room called the kitchen perimeter. So back in Cabentry, I'll click Add Room. And the first thing it asks me for is the name, so I'll say kitchen perimeter. Next, I'll want to select my construction method. So let's go back to my drawing. There was some notes on the drawing. If I go to the cover page, I can see some of the job information. However, it doesn't tell me the construction, so I'll just look at the 3D. And we can see that this is just a full overlay frame construction. So in my room profile, I'll click the drop down and select full overlay. So as soon as I select these options, I can see the price associated with that option. So frame full overlay is a 0% upcharge. Now if I were to pick inset instead, I can see that this is a $35 per opening upcharge. So as I make selections, I can see the price associated with it, and that just helps you better make choices as you're entering the job. Next, let's enter our wood. So I'll go back to my drawing. And if I go to the cover page, we can see we have hard maple wood. So I'll choose hard maple from the list. And again, this is a standard option at 0%. So let's go through the next couple options. We'll leave it on concealed soft close hinges. We'll leave the interior as the standard option. We'll stick with bloom soft close. And notice there's a little blue icon beside this option. You'll see this appearing through the software in the room, on cabinets, and on accessories. And this is what we call a tooltip. So this gives you the ability to hover over it and you'll see a note from the manufacturer. And that note may contain things like instructions of how to use the SKU, things you need to consider when using this SKU, and other important information. So keep your eye out for that tooltip throughout the software. I'll leave my drawer box as natural maple. And then next I need to choose my stain or paint. So back to my drawing, we have paint pebble gray. So I'll go to my paints and look for pebble gray. And we can see that's an 8% upcharge. So there's no technique, no glaze, and we'll leave the sheen on standard. So next I'm ready for my doors. So the drawing is asking for a shaker bevel door with all 5-piece drawer fronts. So if I go back into Cabentry, I'm on wall doors right now, so I'll go find the shaker bevel. And we can just scroll through the list. Here it is. And as soon as I select this, on this specific door, the profiles will default and I actually can't change them. That means if I order the shaker bevel, I have to get these exact profiles. Now, if you're looking to customize it or match a door that you have in your showroom, you can also, to show you another example, you could go to the square configurable door, And this allows you to pick your own profiles and essentially build your own door, which gives you a little more flexibility as you're quoting jobs. So for this illustration, I'm going to go back to my shaker bevel. All my information will copy down to my base doors. And for my large door, the drawing specified that I needed a 5-piece door front. So I'll click select door front and I'll pick my 5-piece. And again, that will copy down to my small drawer. Now you could also pick a slab on the small drawer if you wanted to override that. And so again, we see the tooltip, large fronts will match doors. So that little tooltip is going to be helpful for you as you're navigating the software. So that completes our kitchen perimeter. I'm going to click OK. Okay, let's start adding cabinets to our kitchen perimeter. So I'm going to click the Add Cabinet button. And there's a couple different ways we can add cabinets. But before I do that, let me go back to my drawing. And we're going to start on the sink wall of the kitchen perimeter. So the very first cabinet, cabinet number 1, is going to be a 3-drawer base, and it looks like it's 21 inches wide with a finished end on the left. So back to Cabentry. I don't know the model number, so I'm going to do a cabinet search. Now, the cabinet search is nice for people who don't know how things are named and you just want to be able to search by keywords, such as, I know this is a 3-drawer cabinet. So if I search for 3-drawer, I can just look at the results that come up. And you can see right at the top here is the cabinet I want. So now I just have to find the right size. And I'm going to look at the width column to find my 21 inch. And then I'll click OK. That adds my cabinet to the cabinet screen. Now let's explain the cabinet screen. So as soon as I enter that cabinet, you'll see the base price will populate at $1,033. And over on the total price, you'll see it's higher than the base price. And that is because of the options that we chose in the kitchen perimeter. So you can see we have an 8% upcharge, and our large drawer and small drawer are adding $41 each. So that's why our total price is showing this. Now, as we make changes to this cabinet, as we change the dimensions, add finished ends, add accessories, the total price will update. So we know we need a finished end on the left. So I'm going to go base finished end, lock mitered. And again, we see the price update. So let's go back to the drawing. We have our finished end. We need to add a silverware divider on the top tray. So back in Cabentry, I'm going to switch from common modifications over to accessories. And then I'll click Add Accessory. And I don't know the SKU, so I'm going to do a search and just search for silverware. And a couple results show up. I don't want the double tier, I just want a regular silverware divider. Perfect, and I'll do the large one. So as soon as I add this, again, you'll see the price update. And we are done with this cabinet. And also keep in mind that every price you see in Cabentry is in list price. So the only place you will see the price you'll actually pay to the manufacturer is down in the bottom right of the main screen. This price will show after your discount. Everywhere else in Cabentry will be list price. Okay, let's keep moving. The next cabinet we want to add is our sink base. It is 33 inches wide and it has a tip out tray. So back in Cabentry, I'm going to click Add Cabinet. And this time I'm going to give the example as if I knew the SKU number. So I know that sinks start with BSC for base sink cabinet. And notice as I type, that list filters down to help you easily pick from the list. So there's our base sink cabinet 33. So this way is much faster, so once you get familiar with the catalog, you'll be able to quickly enter SKUs without going through the cabinet search screen. So we don't need to change anything on the common modifications. The custom modifications are fine, and all we need to do is add our tip out tray. So I'll go to accessory search, and let's do a tilt out sponge tray. And I'll add that. Okay, our second cabinet is completed. And I also need to add an appliance in because there's a dishwasher here. So let's go back and put that on. I can just double click to update the cabinet, or I can click update cabinet over here. So right end is base appliance in. Okay, next let's go back to the drawing. Looks like next we have a base filler return, and it's going to be 3 inches wide. So back in Cabentry, I'll click Add Cabinet and search for base filler return 3. And I want to put an appliance end on the left. And we're finished with that. And if I go back to my drawing, cabinet number 4 is going to be a corner cabinet with a Lazy Susan in it. So let's go back to Cabentry. I'll go Add Cabinet. This time I'll do a cabinet search. I'll just search for corner cabinet. And now I just need to look through the list, and I believe this was a 36. Yes, 36 angled corner cabinet. So here we are. I'll add him. And I want to hinge it on the right. And we need to add our Lazy Susan. So it says it's a 32-inch Signature Series full round. So I'll go to my Accessories tab and just search for Lazy Susan. So I need to find the 32-inch Signature full round with 2 shelves. So I'll add that, and you can see an image, a nice preview of what I'm going to be receiving. And now we're done with the corner cabinet. Okay, so now we need to do the wall cabinets, and we'll be ready for the next wall in the kitchen perimeter. So cabinet number 5 is going to start just left of the window. So it's going to be an 18-inch wide by 30-inch tall cabinet. So back in Cabentry, I'm going to do Add Cabinet, and I'm just going to start typing wall 1830. So again, you see the list just filter down as I continue typing. We want to hinge this on the left so it opens toward the window. And we need to put a finished in on each side, so on the left and on the right. So I'll choose the wall finished in lock mitered and the wall finished in lock mitered. And there'll be no accessories on this cabinet. Next we have a Type A valance. So let's go back to Cabentry and let's do a cabinet search on this one because I don't know what valances start with. So I'll just search for valance in the description, and it said Type A, so I'll add it, and then I just need to change the width to fit mine. So it looks like we need a 39-inch valance, and it is going to be 6 inches tall. So 39, and we'll leave the height at 6. Okay, now we're ready for a cabinet 7, which is just to the right of the window. So this is a 36-inch wide cabinet, and it's 30 inches tall. So I'll do Add Cabinet, wall 36, 30. And we need to finish the left end. There's no accessories in this cabinet, so all we need is a finished left end. So wall finished in lock mitered on the left. Back to my drawing, we need to put the angled upper corner cabinet, and it is a 24-inch wall diagonal. So I'm going to go to Add Cabinet, and we'll do a cabinet search again. And we'll just search for angled, and I'll filter for wall. Okay, so there's the right type of cabinet. So we just need to find the height. We know it's 24 by 24, and it's 30 inches tall. So we'll select this cabinet, and there will be no other adjustments needed to this cabinet, so I'll click OK. So if I forget to select the hinge on a cabinet that has doors, it will remind me. In this example, I did forget to pick my hinge. So I'll just click OK, and then I'll choose that it's hinged on the right, and click OK. Okay, so that completes that wall. We're ready to begin on the wall with the range. So I'll scroll down to that elevation, and we'll start with our base cabinets. So cabinet number 9. Looks like we have another base filler return, and we want to put an appliance finished in on the right. So I'll go to Add Cabinet, go to Base Finish Return 3, and we'll put a base appliance end on the right side. Okay. Next we have our oven, and cabinet number 10 is a 9-inch full height cabinet. So I don't know what the SKU starts with, so we'll do another cabinet search. So I'm going to go to cabinet search. I know I want a full height cabinet. So the base cabinets come up first, it looks like. So this is exactly what I want. And I know it's 9 inches wide. And we need to put an appliance in on the left because it's right beside the stove. Okay, next I need to add a tray divider. So that's going to be a custom mod. The difference between modifications and accessories are, modifications are changes that alter the way the cabinet is made, and accessories are things that go inside the cabinet. So I'm going to go to custom mods, and I'll just do a search for tray divider. And here we see our custom tray divider. And we'll add that to our cabinet. And that is all that is needed. So we'll click OK. And we forgot our hinge location. So we want to hinge it on the right so it opens toward the stove. So next I want to add the last base cabinet. And it looks like it's just a regular base cabinet with a drawer above. And we actually have a trash pull out in this one. So let's go to Cabentry and add it. And so the SKU is actually base, one drawer, and we know we want an 18-inch cabinet. So that pulls that cabinet in. And for the hinge location, I can just select pull out because I'm going to be adding an accessory that will pull out with the door. Okay, back to the drawing. We need to put a finished end on the right, and then we need to add our accessory. So we'll finish this with a base lock miter. And we'll go to accessories and search for a waste bin. And if we look at our drawing, it shows trash pull out double. So back in Cabentry, I want to make sure I get one with 2 bins. So the waste pull out with 2 35-quart bins. That's the one I want. And we'll add that to our cabinet and click OK. Okay, now I'm ready for my wall cabinets. If I go back to my drawing, we've already added this diagonal wall cabinet on the other wall. So we're ready for cabinet number 12, which is a 15-inch wall cabinet, and it's 30 inches tall like the others. And we want to put a finished end on the right where the microwave goes. So I'll go to add cabinet, and it's a wall 1530. I want to hinge it on the left so it opens toward the microwave, and we'll put a finished end on the right. And that is all we'll need for that one. Next, we want to do the cabinet above the microwave. So this one is 30 inches wide. So let's go back to Cabentry, add cabinet, W3015. It comes in as pair doors, and we don't need to do anything to this cabinet. Now we're ready for the last wall cabinet on our run. It's a 27-inch wide cabinet by 30 inches tall with finished ends on each side. So wall 3030 with finished ends on each side. Okay, so that completes our kitchen perimeter. So let's look at our crown molding, and what we would do is we'd want to figure out how many pieces of crown molding we need. So you could look at the wall elevation and figure out your feet of crown that you need. If I look at my cover page, it specifies that I need 3 pieces of 8-foot KL313. So I'm going to search for KL313. KL313. And it's going to bring in an image. And here's the tooltip that we talked about earlier in the room. And it says enter number of 8-foot sticks in the quantity field. So my cover sheet specifies that I need 3 pieces. So I'll just enter 3 in the quantity and click enter. Next, I need to add my toe kick. So TK is the SKU for toe kick. Again, if you don't know that TK is the SKU, you can always go to cabinet search and just search for toe and add it that way. And again, tooltip says enter number of 8-foot sticks. So maybe I'll just order 3 pieces of toe kick as well. And we also need to get scribe. So I'll just copy this SKU number for the scribe and we'll paste that in there. You can see our image, and let's get 3 pieces of scribe as well. Okay, so that finishes our kitchen perimeter. Now we're ready to add a room for the island. So the only difference in the island is the color. So to save time, we can actually just copy the kitchen perimeter. And we'll say this is the kitchen island. And then we simply need to go change the color. The print specifies that the island is Hail Navy. So I'll double click the kitchen island and edit the stain and paint color. Okay, and the upcharge is the same, and I'll just click OK. Now we're ready to start adding cabinets. So in my print, I'll go to the elevation for the island, and it looks like we have 2 30-inch wide cabinets, and then a panel on the back. If we look at the 3D, we can see a little more information. So we actually have panelized or integrated ends on each end as well, and then a panelized end on the back. So let's start with cabinet number 15. It's a 3-drawer base cabinet that is 30 inches wide. So I'll go to my cabinet, and one thing to note, I'm highlighted on the kitchen island right now. So when I click add cabinet, it's going to default to the kitchen island. If I would highlight kitchen perimeter, it would default to that. So make sure you have selected what you're wanting to enter on. And if you accidentally add it to the wrong place, it's really easy to move it later, so no worries there. So let's add our 3-drawer base. So base 3-drawer, and we want a 30-inch wide. Okay, next I need to put an integrated or panelized end on the left. So I'm going to go base integrated end lock mitered. Now, one other thing I need to do, there's a mod that is needed. We need to extend the left stile to the floor. So in Cabentry, I'm going to go to Custom Mods, and I'm just going to type this one in direct. Extend stile floor, and there is a comment required. If I try to click OK, it's going to tell me, specify which stile goes to the floor. So left stile extended, and you can see in the image what this mod is doing. I'll click OK. Next, we have just a base cabinet with a drawer above, and we have a couple accessories and a panelized end and that custom mod. So let's start with our cabinet, just a base 1 drawer. So I'll go to add cabinet, base 1 drawer, and this is also 30 inches wide. So let's put the panelized end on the right, base integrated in. Next, we need to add our custom modification for the extend style. So ext extend style floor, and this time right style extended. And if we go back to our drawing, we need to add 2 pullouts, and we need to add a utensil divider. So let's start with the rollouts. I'll go to Cabentry, switch to the accessories tab, and I'm going to do an accessory search for rollouts. Now I need to pick the large one because I have a 30-inch cabinet, and I need 2 rollouts. Okay, now we also need to do a utensil divider, so I'll do add accessory, and I'll just search for utensil. And this is also over 18 inches, so I'll choose the larger one. So notice we can stack as many accessories or mods as we need to. Okay, so that'll complete that cabinet. Now, we need to add the panel on the back. So I'll go to Cabentry. It says Decorative Island Back, see right for details. And there's the name of the SKU. So I'll go to Add Cabinet, and I'll just type in that SKU. It is a 60-inch wide with 3 panels. And you can see a nice image preview right here in the image previewer. So I don't need to do anything else to this cabinet. I'll just click OK. And if I go back to my drawing, that completes all the cabinets. Now we just need to add some toe kick and shoe molding, and a touch-up kit. So let's do add cabinet, and let's add our toe kick first. I think one piece will be enough for this one, so I'll just leave the quantity at 1. So now I just need to add a couple pieces of shoe molding. So I'm going to click add cabinet, and I'm looking for the KL301. Okay, now I just need to say how many pieces. We'll say 2 pieces, and we'll add that. And we didn't put shoe mode in the kitchen perimeter, but let's say for a minute that we wanted to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this cabinet. Now we have 2 pieces of shoe molding still in the kitchen island. So I can just right click, move to kitchen perimeter, and now that cabinet is part of the kitchen perimeter. And maybe I just want to add a couple more pieces of shoe molding. So it's really not that helpful to copy the shoe molding, but where the copy really comes in nice is where maybe you have a cabinet that you're doing the same kind of mods, or you're adding the same type of accessories. The copy cabinet can really be beneficial in that way. Now the last thing I need to add is a touch-up kit, which I also forgot a touch-up kit in the kitchen perimeter as well, so let me add it to both places. So I'll highlight kitchen perimeter and click add cabinet and touch-up kit. And OK. And then I'll just go ahead and copy this cabinet and then right click and move it to the kitchen island. And it actually put the touch-up kit at the beginning of my island, which I don't really like that. So I'll right click and move to bottom. So it's very easy to move cabinets around and in between rooms. So, if you want to do it to, match your drawings or however you want the things to number, or if you forgot to add a cabinet, it's really easy to move stuff around to make it match the order in which it should be. Okay, so that completes both the kitchen perimeter and the kitchen island. We just entered all of these items into Cabentry. And now I want to show you just a few other options that you have in Cabentry, and I want to talk a little bit about attachments, the reports, and being able to open and save orders. So back in Cabentry, let's say, for example, that you just entered this job and you wanted to see it with another option. Maybe you wanted to see it with walnut in the kitchen perimeter. So if I double click on that room and switch it to walnut, as soon as I click OK, you will see the price update. So this is really helpful if you're trying to stay within a budget or you need to see what the option would cost. Once you have the cabinets in here, it's very easy to just toggle back and forth. So I'm going to flip that back to hard maple. Now, a very important thing, which I should have done periodically as I was going through the job, is to save my order. So I'm going to click Save As, and I'm going to just call it Cabentry Demo Job, and click OK. So now that order is saved. You can get back to it any time. So if you can't complete the job, if you need to work on it later, you can save it and come back to it at any time. So now let's talk about the report. If I go to print and leave it on the standard report, this is going to print a very detailed and itemized sheet that you can actually give to your customer if you choose to do so. So let's just scroll down and look at some of the fields that the report has to offer. So the cover sheet contains just the job information that we entered early on in this video. So it shows the dealer information and it shows the customer information. And it will also show a quote summary. So it'll show the list price. I don't have a dealer discount set up, so my dealer discount is 0. When you're quoting a job, you'll see how much is discounted. Now we also have an option to hide this if you want to be able to hand this to your customer. Obviously you don't want to expose your pricing, and I'll cover that here in a minute. And then we have a place to sign off. So as we scroll down, the first thing it's going to show is the kitchen perimeter because we entered that first. So it's going to show each of the options that we chose and the upcharge that's associated to it. So everything is very detailed and everything will show up on the report. And then as I scroll down, we're going to see the cabinets that I entered. So notice the 3-door base, the very first cabinet we entered when we started this job. And you can see everything that we did to the cabinet as a separate line item. So if you put a finished end on it, if you add an accessory, if you change the dimension, all of that will show up with an itemized price. And again, just like in Cabentry, everything is in list price. So every other cabinet is highlighted in gray, so you can easily tell the line items apart. And we'll just continue scrolling down until we get to the bottom of the room. And then it'll do a page break and start in the kitchen island. And again, it'll show the room details and it'll list the cabinets below. And notice how the comments show in red, because normally comments mean there's special instructions or something that needs attention. And then at the very bottom of the report, you're going to see a summary that separates it into rooms. So you can see the kitchen perimeter and the kitchen island. And then again, the quote summary like we saw at the top of the page. Now, let's say you want to be able to sell the cabinets at maybe 3% off of list price, but your discount is set up to be 20% off. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is check the box and enter whatever discount you want to give off of list price and hit print. Now this report is safe to hand to your customer. So you as a dealer can actually use this as your handout to your customer if you choose to do so. Okay, next, let's talk about attachments. So early on, we entered the order info, and the third tab up here is called attachments. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this drawing that I've been working off of. So I'll click Browse and go to my desktop and Cabentry Demonstration Plans, and I'll attach this file. So it's a very good idea to attach the 3Ds, the elevations, maybe any appliance specs or custom drawings that you have. And this enables the manufacturer to be able to see this, or whoever looks at the order in the future, they'll be able to see the attachments that go with this specific order. So very helpful to keep the files attached to each individual order. So let's save this job again. Now, as soon as you save it, again, like I mentioned before, you'll be able to see your job and what status it's in and who created it and when it was last modified. So as you get several jobs in here, you'll be able to use these filters along the top to be able to find jobs as you need them. So let's talk about status. When you start an order, I'm going to go back and open my demo job. When you start an order, it's in quoting status. That means you're still working on the order. That means you want to make changes with your customers and you want to get everything finalized. And when you're ready to send this to the manufacturer, all you do is move it to the next status. So in this case, I'm going to say it's ready for review. And as soon as I do that and click save, the manufacturer is going to receive an email and they'll be able to look over this job immediately. They have access to this file as soon as you create it. So the statuses are going to be very helpful in keeping everyone informed. The email notifications help you know as soon as the job is reviewed or ready for the next step. Okay, so that is all for this video. I hope this was helpful to you, and thank you for watching.